Hey friends, welcome back. So today's video is sort of a part 3 on the 034 AV, which is actually an 036. And we're going to put the carburetor back together. It's been cleaned out and gone through and put some good diaphragms and gaskets in there. So, couldn't do it on camera, but the metering lever is in, so you'll want to give it a few taps. Make sure everything's seated, the spring and everything. And then get your gauge or a flat surface that can go over both sides to check, to make sure that it is at the proper level. There's different edges on these little guys because there's different designs, but for this old Zama, that's the one to use. So that's all set and good. On your metering side, the first thing you want is the gasket. That goes down first. Should be easier than that. But okay, so we got the gasket on. The next thing is the diaphragm. It's not crunchy. Got your plate right here with the stub. That fits on top of the metering lever. And make sure you get it in the right spot. Okay, we're all set. Seems to be lined up. Then we'll go ahead and put you on pause for a minute because screws are too much for my fingers, so those have to be done elsewhere. Alright, so the screws are magically in. You want to make sure that I usually tighten in a pattern, and you don't want to tighten very far. Just get them seated and kind of go gently because you're just screwing into aluminum. Alright, this old screen is out. New one is setting in there straight. You want to make sure everything's straight in there. And then I use a little pencil and push it all in there. Make sure everything's flat and even. Okay. Sorry I say okay a lot. Could say okay. Alright, so if you remember when we did the metering side, we put the gasket first, then the diaphragm and cover. On your pump side, you'll want to do it the opposite. The diaphragm actually goes first, so find the position it sits in. You want to make sure these little ears go over, or flaps go over the right positions. You can see they are covering up the holes properly. You'll get your gasket. This old Zama, whatever, I say Zama, has little locating ears. So find corresponding areas and set it down. to make sure that everything fits and straight. Come on, you. Putting in a screw should not be this hard, but it is. Alright, I am going to use this to lightly get it down because it's taking too long, but I'm not going to touch. Just get it close and then make sure that you're snug. You're all back together. Then we'll check the adjustments. So right there, it's half 1 and it's lightly seated. You don't want to go past that. And we'll go back half 1. And then we'll check this one. 1. Okay, so that's all set, ready. Once you have it installed, you can do your final adjustments. If it was on there before, that should be where it was set if you're putting it back on, but a lot of times you'll have to change it and make sure. Get rid of the stupid old screen. Okay, so we've got all that together. Now, tell you about a little problem I had. If you remember, when I was taking this apart, let's see. Oh, that's all different. Well, on top of the piston, when I had taken it off, you've seen the black carbon and there's a shiny spot. If you were here for that video, if not, it's in part 1, or excuse me, part 2. There's a shiny spot in the middle of the carbon, and I did not know what it was from. Well, I ended up finding out what it was. So I am not going to be able to reuse the cylinder that came off, even though the condition is great, without some modifications. Let me show you why. So get it set up so the light's hitting it, but inside of it, sticking out past the upper combustion chamber and squish band, is some metal. It must have had some repair done or something. It doesn't look like it from the outside, but that actually sticks down and contacts the top of the piston. So we will not be using that. We don't need something hitting the piston every stroke. So it turns out that I had in my parts box another cylinder, and this one has no such problem. It's a good cylinder, and as you can see, it has the same numbers. So everything will work just fine. Alright guys, well thanks for being with me for this video. If you found anything interesting or useful, maybe give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for being here with me, and hope you're enjoying this little series so far about the hot mess, getting it back together. So there'll be one more part at least one more part when I get the parts I need. It needs a base gasket and such, but we'll get that back together, and hope you're here with me for that. Anyway, be kind, help make the world a better place, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.